Billy Williams with Inspire a Nation Business Mentoring. So excited for you guys to be with us today. Got a nice little turnout. Hey, Raushan, how are you today, sir?
I am doing well, thanks, Dr. Billy.
Okay, good. Let me introduce myself real quick. You can introduce yourself real quick. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Billy Williams. I'm the president of Inspire a Nation Business Mentoring, and I host the Fix My Insurance Agency $10 million revenue workshops, and I own some other businesses and a whole bunch of stuff that we do to make sure that insurance agents are better. But you're not here for me. You're here to see this two-way integration between AMS360 and InsuredMine. So I'll get straight to it. Raushan, tell them a little bit about yourself, please.
Absolutely, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I think this is a wonderful time to talk about everything happening in the insurtech world and how things are changing. And obviously, once we go into and talk about the two-way integration, but before that, so I'm Roshan Jaswal, co-founder of InsuredMine, insurtech, a startup company, started a couple of years ago. Literally, this is our third year. And what it does is it helps agencies. So InsuredMine is an add-on to an agency management system, and it helps agencies accomplish three business goals, which is convert, engage, and retain. How they can convert a prospect or a stranger to a client, how they can engage with a prospect and a client, and how they can retain clients through cross-sell and upsell. So that's the three business objectives they accomplish through InsuredMine.
Okay. Now, I reached out to Raushan to do this webinar, guys, and I did it for two reasons. Number one, when I came in the industry 16 years ago, I felt like our data was being held hostage. Okay, that's the best way to put it. I feel like data was being held hostage. And so I had to have all these experts around me in spreadsheets. You remember this, Raushan, back in the day? Everything was a spreadsheet. Literally, I would only hire staff if they were spreadsheet experts, because one of the things I realized really quickly was the top agencies, what separated them from everybody else was how they manage their data, and not just manage customer data, phone numbers, emails, all those kind of things that we all do, but could they sort their data? Could they identify their hot prospects? Could they follow up? Were there X states being sent out? Were these things automated? So immediately coming from the military world where we were very technologically advanced, and I jumped into insurance where I felt like we were really far behind, I started using spreadsheets, and this was before Zapier and all that other stuff, and we just worked with it. We manually would go in, load a sheet into Constant Contact or, one of those systems and mail it out and do all that. And then about 6 or 7 years ago, some of the AMSs started to open up a little bit more. It started to give some more data. It still wasn't what it is today, of course. And then Zapier came along and made life a little bit easier. Then Salesforce became where we actually could afford a little bit of Salesforce. It's still extremely expensive, but we could afford little pieces of Salesforce, or their little small things, and we start using that. Now, fast forward to today, I still feel like our data is in a lot of antiquated systems that are not allowing us to utilize it, not allowing us to have it, not allowing us to gather it. But then tools come along like yours that give me hope, that our data won't be held hostage forever. So I really appreciate that. That's why I reached out to you, Raushan, and said, I really want you to show this two-way integration. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. If you give me the liberty, I believe a lot of guys on the call today, may have heard because of you. They know what you have done, and they are a user of AMS360. Not sure how much they know about InsuredMine. So, just a 10,000 feet overview. Let me give a quick blurb of what it does, and then how and why it matters to have this two-way integration. So, as you all are very well aware of AMS360 and all the wonderful capabilities it has of policy management and policy administration. And as Dr. Billy was talking about, how data has become increasingly more important as we continue to move in that world of digitization. So I was just a week ago, I was on a conference, Elevate, for Trusted Choice, and we were a panelist and we were talking about this. And one statement I made out over there was, data is like minerals. and they are worth once you have mined them. Once you have mined that data, then they become valuable. Otherwise, you're walking over it all day long. And so how that is one of our specialty, is how we are helping you not only do a lot of things because of the two-way integration, but how are we making it meaningful to you? It's equally important to us. That's in our DNA, is to think of data not just as a pile of numbers sitting somewhere, but to make some strategic value out of it by understanding how those dots are connected. So that's
Gotcha.
one thing I wanted to bring to the highlight. And when I was talking about how the 3 business goals are accomplished of convert, engage, and retain, those 3 business goals, we are accomplishing that through what we call our model as SEAM, SEAM, and which is sales, engagement, analytics, and mobile. And when we put these 4 pieces together, these, I call it as the 4 wheels of a car. You cannot drive your sedan with 3 wheels or 2 wheels or 1 wheel. You need all 4 wheels to drive your car. And it's the same philosophy. If I can have just sales, Salesforce is great, or a pipe drive is great, I will just have that. But that is not helping me accomplish, like you talk about all the time, it's not a feature, it's a process. We got to look at from that process perspective, how we are accomplishing that. And so the sales is one part of it. Analytics is another part of it. Engagement, and we are doing all those 4 pieces through our InsuredMine platform, but primarily by connecting that to the agency management system. So there was no better word for us to think but to say that we are an add-on to a management system, because so much of reliance is on management system. And that was our first 18 months of journey, is bringing that from there to this part. But what has changed now, and the reason we are here, is it's no more a one-way traffic to do what we were doing, but it has become a two-way traffic because of all the activities and the insights that we are generating. We are now able to feed that data back to Vertafore AMS360. And I want to take a moment and thank them for thinking progressively and be allowing us to be a part of that ecosystem. So end of the day, the agencies are benefiting. That's all we all care for.
Okay,
so
good. So that was very articulate. That's the really smart person's way of saying it. Now let me talk to my people. Okay, let me talk to people like me who are not quite that smart. Here's the deal. I don't want to have to do 2 things, okay, to get one thing accomplished. If I'm dealing with a lead, I want to be able to put that lead in my lead management system and have it flow to my agency management system without me having to manually pick it up and take it over there. If I'm doing something in my agency management system that should also flow back to my lead manager, I don't want to have to manually go in and build 2 things, because I know the more I have to manually do stuff, the less it's going to get done. So the thing, again, the smart folks like you who think way above what we think about, we appreciate you, but we just want to know, how the hell can I stop doing 2 things or 3 things to get one thing accomplished?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's dive into it. And
let's dive into that. Now,
don't believe
Mr.
me
Capel?
for a moment. Yeah. Can you share your screen, Kapil? Is it?
No, I have to give him that. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure he's ready. Is he ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So I'm going to make you the presenter. You're going to see something pop up that says share. We can see it now. Just took a second for us to get there. So what we're interested in is the 2-way integration. Again, please keep it simple for people like me. Hey, if I get a lead, this is what I do with my lead. If I update it, this is where it goes. So I'll turn over, and I'm going to cut off my camera so that my face is not distracting to folks, because I have a face for radio, not for TV. And then we'll go from there.
I'll do the same for you. All right. So let's start here. Thanks for all the setup here. So what you are seeing on the screen is a sales funnel for a commercial line And as Dr. Billy said, so let's start with something very basic to say, if a prospect just called me and I want to add that prospect in my sales funnel. So let's go ahead and add a prospect, because one of the objective we want to accomplish is, when I'm adding a prospect to my sales funnel, it reflects in my AMS360. So let's go ahead and add a prospect here, Kapil. Add a new, on the same screen, just add a new name, contact, yeah. New contact, yeah. Let's call it 611. So which is today's date, so. All right, and so once we fill in all other basic information, yeah. This is as simple as taking notes on, getting more information from your client, and deal category if you wanna add in, or you can just leave it basic, or commercial trucking or anything, or that's, and it got added, and so there is a new contact added to the deal board here with some basic information. As you can see, is it on stage 1, a new lead, and there is a lot of things we can talk about, what it can do. So right now we just started and added a lead here. Let's see if it refreshes and shows up in my AMS360. So that will say 101 contact added here, contact shows up in AMS360.
Yeah, so here is one more step to sync that contact. So
Okay.
we have to press here. And now it will search whether this data is already exist in AMS360 or not. So no,
yeah,
there is no contact with. Yeah. Now I will click on add to contact button. Now it will ask for the division, branches, department. Now I'm navigating to AMS360.
Now you have a book of record all being created. There you go, you have a contact 6 new. Not only it is there in AMS360, as we understand, let's go ahead and add a note and an email being sent from there. So let's send a note to the contact. So while Kapil adds a note and sends an email message to the contact, the intent, what I was talking about earlier is not only to send messages, because on a good day we will close 30 to 35%. And so if I am closing 30 to 35%, I want that 100% of those prospects to go in my management system. But while I am hammering on closing that 1/3, my 2/3 would remain here. And while it is in my sales funnel, I want to continue to nurture and try to squeeze that lemon as much as possible so I can get more juices out of that. And so that intensity of engagement and communication is better handled here, and that's the whole reason why you would have it. But you are in a good place, because now it is not only managing it here but pushing that information there as well. So having said that, let's see how Kapil has already added a note and he is sending an email right now. So let's click on all here, Kapil. So just to make sure we have that, go ahead and add a note as well.
So note has been already added.
All right, perfect. So we can see here a note has been added and we have an email being sent here. We will click on the refresh button here just to make sure, and we will push it out to AMS360 and check that out. So as you all are well aware of how it works in AMS360, these activities are getting tracked in the activity section within that account, within that contact. So it's taking time to refresh, Kapil. There you go. All right, so now we can see there is a notes and there is an email. email is coming as an attachment. So if you click on that, so that's what you get to see is all those activities that you are sending it from that, and you, as Dr. Billy said, you do not have to again copy or create another version of that in your AMS 360. It is feeding that directly here. I'll take a quick pause. Any reaction or comment to that, Dr. Billy?
No. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the question mark or comment, and I'll go ahead and either unmute you and let you talk, or I will read them out loud. Hey, I do have a couple of questions though while they're getting their questions together. First of all, the email templates that you send, you can load in email templates inside of InsuredMine. Are those the same templates that are in AMS 360, or should they be the same templates in AMS 360, or does it matter?
No, you don't have to upload anything in AMS 360 because that email that you just sent using that template, it's going to show up right here. Am I understanding your question correct?
No, I got that part. That's the part from InsuredMine to AMS 360. But suppose I'm working with a customer in AMS 360, not a lead, but an actual customer. They're already my agency management, and I want to send them an email through AMS 360. Do I have to go to InsuredMine to send that email, or if I send it through AMS 360, will that automatically flow to that contact's record in InsuredMine?
So, right, yes, it will feed both ways. So, any activity happening in 360 will show up in InsuredMine.
Right. So if I have a template, because I teach people load their templates in AMS 360 or whatever management system they're using, and then they want to send the endorsement or the claims or the new customer or something like that, and it's already a pre-written template, that is going to automatically transfer to that contact's record over into InsuredMine, right?
That's right.
Okay. How does InsuredMine?
Yeah, just if I may make that comment, it will not sync the templates, but it will sync that email that has been sent.
I got you. Which is the template. So it sends a copy of that email over to InsuredMine. Yeah. So same difference there. All right. So what data do I have to have exactly the same in order for InsuredMine and AMS 360 to know it's the same person? Suppose like my name is Billy R. Williams. My son is Billy Devon Williams. If I just put Billy Williams, how will the system know? What are the variables that it uses to sync these things together? Like, is that email has to have the same email address, has to have the same phone number? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You're thinking like an engineer, a developer. I'm thinking like an agent. And so as an agent, hell, half my data is not right. Let's be honest, guys. Half our data is not right. So I may have John Smith, I may have Jay Smith, and I might have Joe Smith, and they may all be the same person, at the same address with the same phone number, same email address. So that's why I'm just asking, and maybe deeper than what we need to get into on this webinar, but I'm just asking for those agents that want to suddenly start using you, how will the systems know that the records are the same? Usually it's email, phone number, or something like that. That's why I was asking.
Good question. And so let me just answer that in two parts. Part one, that same concerned us, and that was the reason why we provided that deal button, which you saw. A lot of people may think, hey, why are you adding that deal button over there to sync to the contact? You could have automatically synced it. The answer is yes, we could have automatically synced it. The reason we added that, because we know there is a possibility of duplicates. And by adding that button, we are adding that verification that, hey, make sure we are identifying the right name and matching with it.
Gotcha. Hey, I got a couple of questions here. This one's from Kevin O'Connor. Says, can you edit the description for the activity? An example, you send the email from InsuredMine, but would like the description of what the email said in the AMS description area. So can you edit the description for the activity?
So then it will show.
I think what he's asking, Mr. Capel, is, can I open this activity and edit it? That's what he's asking at the basic. So if he clicks on
Yeah,
this
you can.
and it opens
Yeah,
up, can he put additional information inside of that activity?
yeah, sure. You can do that.
There you go.
All right, that's good. So that's what he was asking. Can we go in, open that activity and put information or
Yeah,
change whatever? And the reason why we're asking that, guys, is because we have set ways of identifying certain things, like maybe it's an endorsement. And so maybe we have a code, EC7 or whatever it is. And we want to know that we can put that code so that when I'm looking, I'll know that this is this specific type of transaction. You know what I mean? Maybe it's commercial, maybe it's health insurance, maybe it's Medicare supplement, but we identify it differently. We categorize it. So that's why he was asking that, I believe, is to see if we can categorize it. And you showed us that you can, so we're okay there. Okay, so let's move on with some more integration, more two-way integration.
Absolutely. So two things we have covered so far is when we add a contact, and obviously without worrying too much about that we are creating a duplicate contact because we are adding that validation through that button, and we are syncing that in 360. Second part was now you have not only created a contact, but you are doing all these activities, whether it's sending a note, whether it's an email, whether it's scheduling a meeting, whether you are assigning a task. All those wonderful activities are now getting synced on this end through this activity list. So all that is coming through. So that's the second list of things that is getting done. Now you will get to a point where you are about to close a deal on the InsuredMine platform because of the process being defined, because of every activities that you are on top of. Once you get to a point where you win a deal, what happens? The good part is that prospect is already created in 360. You win a deal, you go to bed that night for a good sleep. You wake up next morning, two beautiful things happen. Well, I don't know about one, which is your INS download comes to your AMS360 associated to your policy now, to that prospect now it has all the information. But the moment it gets that information, it automatically feeds that policy info to the prospect that you had created in InsuredMine now, which has technically become a client from prospect. So that closes the full loop of starting a prospect in InsuredMine and ending a client in InsuredMine. Does that make sense? Or am I going to?
Well, no. So what you're saying is, once the person is written, once they're no longer a prospect, we've done all that and they've closed, and we've closed that deal through the carrier, that it automatically goes to AMS360 or comes from AMS360, since they do the upload or download, into InsuredMine, showing us that this is now a customer, not a prospect. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Now, the beauty of that is not only it closes the loop, it triggers your second loop. What is my second loop? Second loop is now I'm switching from sales to engagement. My day one welcome campaign starts automatically, because now I just realized that a customer is in my system who is a brand new customer, and at 10 a.m. every morning, that's what it is checking and blasting off all the new client campaign.
Gotcha. So on my new client campaign, let's say I set up a welcome letter day 1 or day 0 that they're in my system. They get a welcome letter. Day 2, they get a testimonial, or day 3, let's say they get a testimonial request. Day 7, they get a link, connect with us on social networking. Day 8, they get a let's set up a policy review for, talk about your life insurance. So you can set all of that drip functionality up into InsuredMine, and simply because they were triggered as a customer, not a prospect, that functionality starts. Is that what you're saying?
100%, 100%.
Okay, got it.
To add a few more things to that, now because you have, as you saw that, now you started from the prospect journey. Let's not forget the trigger points, and we closed the loop to the first circle. Now we are starting the second circle of automation and engagement, and we fired off this welcome drip of day 0, day 3, day 5, day 7. Other things what you will be doing along with this is your mobile app. app campaign. There might be a 5 email campaign that you have set up for them to download a mobile app and to download all the policy information along with this on the mobile app. They will start seeing all that coming through. Other thing what you want to do is your Google review, as you have already mentioned, they will be able to go and get that, or a like Facebook page, because you want to get involved with them in as many ways as possible. So all those,
Got you.
you set it up.
Can you add in, Roshan, can that be combined with a text message campaign if the person has given us permission to text message?
100%.
Okay, how would I do? Because let me give you an example. So when we write a brand new customer, day 0, which is the day we put them in our system as a customer, they get a welcome letter that talks about, you know, identifying emergency contact. They get whatever, and then they get a text message with a link to our video in the text message, our welcome video. So they get the link in the email as well, but we've seen a much greater response when we send them a text, hey, new customer, here's our welcome video from XYZ insurance agency. Now they click on that, it opens up on their phone. Hey guys, this is Billy Williams. Just want to say thank you so much for being a customer, da 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 da. So that's why I'm asking about, can I combine not only that drip email, but also set that text message up to automatically go out?
All right, let me add one more element to that. So actually 2 things, Billy. You are absolutely right. Yes, that's the process. Again, we are your followers, so how can the fruit fall far from the tree? So we are following everything that you preach. What you mentioned, instead of that, when they become a client, we are saying that do that when they are added to your system as a contact. So when Kapil was adding that in the sales pipeline, a new contact, that day there is an option where you can set up automation. And in that automation, we are saying, send them a welcome email introducing your agency, and send them that request for, hey, give me your emergency contacts and give me the permission to text you. Other thing, now coming back to the welcome. In welcome, not only we are sending them a drip email of day 0, day 3, day 5, and a text message, we are also now integrating within, I wanted to do it today, but you know, it will take 1 more week. We have integrated with postcards, so they can send a mail thanking them for being a client.
Okay, that's good. I'm cheap, so I'm not going to mail anybody anything, but I appreciate that. But you also integrated with some phone systems, right? That we can dial right from your system. We don't have to necessarily dial our phone. We can do it from your system, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the one which we are releasing this week, you know, so again, it's a bit premature to say it today, but we are releasing it, is Lightspeed. There are actually 3 other phone systems that we are working with that we will be releasing it in next short order. So yeah, there are a lot of those phone systems. So again, InsuredMine is no more just being perceived or being used as a system of what it can do. It is also being seen as what it is helping me accomplish. So a lot of integration is, I don't have to build everything myself. But as long as the clients are able to accomplish because of InsuredMine, I'm winning. That's how I see it. That's how my clients are winning.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
system.
I got quite a few questions for you. From where we are right now. I know there's more stuff you probably want to get to, but let's take care of what these guys are asking. So the question is, with the automatic campaigns, text, email, does InsuredMine create an activity showing that those things were sent out in AMS360? We know that 100%. Activity was listed in InsuredMine, but does all that also flow to AMS360?
100%.
Excellent. Okay, next question is, what are other phone systems that we can look for? I know it's premature, but this is a big deal for agents, because you know we want one system. Understand something, guys, you tech guys, and I know you're out, Roush, and I've talked to you for 2 years now. I know you're a tech guy. I know your people are tech guys, which is why you and I, you know, we talk all the time, because I'm an insurance guy. We want one system that does it all. We've just never had anything close to it that can do it all. That's why he's asking, John is asking, well, what are some of the other phone systems that you think you might down the road? I'm not committing you to it, but you might down the road look at integrating with.
Yeah. So two of them, which we are currently, three of them, which we are currently in close, is two larger ones. One is Ring Central, and our base by default is Twilio that we use for texting and email and phone system. Twilio is, by the way, if anybody using Twilio, it will be. I'm not trying to brand them, but I'm saying it is the most cost-effective one.
No, I love Twilio. We built all our systems on Twilio. My data supercenter, all that stuff is built on Twilio. So no, you're absolutely right. It is the most cost-effective.
Yeah. So, and then we got Ring Central, which is again fully integrated. Then we got now Lightspeed rolling up. We are in conversation with Cotter Group, which is Bridge. There are a couple other like Nextiva, we have had conversations. So there are a couple others like those. But if there is anything specific any agencies want, bring it to us. You would be surprised at the light speed we move.
Gotcha. Well, I know you guys move quickly. That's what I love about you. So no problem. All right, next question is from George. Hey, George, how you doing? Next question is, what happens if you add another line of business to an existing client? Does the system understand this is not a new client, but a new policy, so they do not get the new client welcome message? Is there a way to stop the system from sending out a new client welcome message, or is that automatically going to go out?
Nope. This is where, what can I say? This is our brain strength. This is where engineering comes into action. Yes, it will. Our algorithm is defined that way that it will identify it is your current client.
Okay. So if it's your current client, if they're already part of your book of business, they're already synced between the two, and you add a new line of business, it's not going to start that whole new welcome drip email process over again.
No, not at all.
But I can individually go in and send an individual email if that's what I want to do, guys. I mean, that's common sense, obviously, but it won't automatically start. But I do have the ability to go in and pick and choose what I want to send, because maybe my customer is a new customer and they went through the welcome process, but they never filled out a Google review for us. So I can individually go in and say, and send that email or send the text saying, hey, don't forget to do a Google review, without triggering a whole series of automation.
Sure. Let me add one more thing to that. One of the cross check we are doing at that point, as you say, always do your spot checks, right? When we are running these automations, we are sending those automation to the agent. Hey, by the way, these automations are going out for your clients. So sometimes, we may be wrong. We do not claim we are like 105% right. So if that happens, they will immediately identify to stop that campaign or that particular guy from that engagement module.
Gotcha. Okay, let me jump into some other questions here real quick.
Sure.
Says, I think Kevin asked that one. George asked that one. Okay, says this is from John. Says, what about engagement for policies that don't download? We have a lot of carriers who don't download from Ivans. What do we have for those guys? Is this a manual process? Like we can go from InsuredMine to AMS360, but it's not going to feed back from AMS360 to InsuredMine.
No, it will do both. If you do on one side, it will come up on the other side.
Okay, so I think then, John, to answer your question is, if they don't automatically download, then you would have to go into one of those systems and bill that person as a customer for the two systems to know that he's a customer. That's all. So, John, that's not an InsuredMine problem. That's not an AMS360 problem. That's a broke-ass carrier problem. Okay, let's just get that straight. That's a carrier problem and not downloading. That's not an AMS360. So you would have to manually build them in your system because of the carrier weakness, not because of the system's weakness. It says when we integrate the phone system through InsuredMine, will the calls update in AMS360 as well? I guess a call record. will a call record update AMS 360 as well, or will we have to manually go into 360 and build in a call record?
After 45 minutes of all the sync, I would say that was an assumed question that call is coming up, but the answer is yes. You will have not only the call record over here, we will, depending on the phone system, obviously, we will also have the wave file. So you will be able to listen to that call anytime in future.
Okay, so well, hold on. Let me make sure I make sure I understand, because this is some new stuff that I didn't even realize. And I'm an InsuredMine. You know how I feel about InsuredMine. So you're telling me that once you integrate with the phone system, the WAV file, the WAV file, the audio file is going to automatically save in InsuredMine once it's integrated, and the WAV file will also show up in AMS 360 if I want it to be in there and listen to it, or is it going to live in InsuredMine?
I'm waiting to hear from them. Kapil, does it go back to 360 as well?
InsuredMine is good enough, Roshan. Trust me. Sure. Having it in InsuredMine is good enough. I'm just wondering if that is one of the activities that's going to carry over as well.
So Roshan, about syncing up phone recording. So we can create that activity and we can sync up in AMS 360.
There you go. That's your answer.
Awesome. That's awesome. So basically I can live in either system and see the same stuff. I love it. I love it. That's what we wanted.
So one quick comment before we take the next question here is, I want all of you also to understand day zero, because what we have been talking about, all these everyday transaction and the increments and the syncing up. But it's also very important to understand day zero when we are onboarding an agency like you and you are on 360, and then we are creating that mirror image of your current profile of your agency with data in InsuredMine. That's a work of sophistication, I must say that, and these guys have done a wonderful job of bringing that mirror image, because then it has taken a lot of design thinking in it, because you cannot replicate the architecture of it, but otherwise we will fail, because we don't want to be in a AMS 360 architecture, because this architecture has to also comply with Epic architecture or NowSearch or HawkSoft or EasyLex, right? Because we are trying to be catch up all. So our architecture has to be sublime enough that it syncs up with all, but be an entity of itself. And so when day zero, when I press the first button of saying sync board system or bring a copy of 360 into this, that day a lot of good activity is happening, which is all that is coming on this end. And that day when we are, then after that it is an incremental thing happening, right? Any notes added that side shows here, added here shows there. But on day zero, when you are matching those, that becomes your mirror screen. Okay. And I want you to see that, I mean, visualize how important that is for you all to have. When you say data hostage, no more anybody is a hostage of that, because now you have a way you are liberating your data to do way more.
Got you. One of the things I want to bring up, even though we marketed this as an integration between AMS 360 and InsuredMine, InsuredMine is working with a lot of AMS systems. Some of you don't have full integration. Some you only have partial integration. Some you have some limited technology on how you're pulling it. But if I understand this right, which I'm pretty sure I do, since we talk, late at night we talk. What is your vision? Right, like when I was playing golf yesterday, and you interrupted my game and made me hit a 5 on a par 4. But okay, I'm not gonna hold it against you. I'm not gonna hold it against you. All right, but what is your vision? Like at the end of the day, how many AMS systems do you want to offer this kind of functionality to? Because I know I have folks on the line that are not AMS 360 users. They're just thinking about it, but maybe they are HawkSoft, or maybe they are NowSearch, or maybe they are whatever. And what's your vision for InsuredMine and integrating with these other agency management systems?
So when it comes, so there is two things. One is what we call as a one-way integration, which is pulling data from the management system to InsuredMine and then giving them all the capabilities to leverage InsuredMine. That's one thing. And the second thing is doing a both way, as we talked, and feeding the data because the need is there. So no doubt, if anybody has to choose between the two, everybody will choose a two-way integration. But because we also have to look at from the ROI perspective, we also have to look at from that particular management system's technology stack perspective. We will always have to consider what makes sense. So having said that, we will obviously bring most of this larger agency management system. And again, I don't want to claim anybody, but we are talking to almost all of them.
Got you.
And you can, on your 10 fingers, you can count top 10. And we will go to our top 10, and we are in conversation with most of these top 10.
Excellent.
But then there are some archaic management systems which should not exist and are existing, and they will go away with the time. We will not invest in those.
Got you. So if you have some one-off system, my mama made this in the kitchen kind of system.
Yep.
Yeah, InsuredMine is not going to integrate with those guys.
Yep.
Got you. All right, so we're got about 10 minutes left. Hit us with some power pack stuff. Take us out with a Zoom. Now, let me tell you what really is a Zoom for us. Stuff that we do every single day in the agency that you can make our life easier and better at doing. Whether that's whatever you want to do, from a prospect, from a lead, from a customer management, from a retention, hit us with something. Dazzle us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can dazzle you, but I would say where we are seeing a lot of success is three things I will talk about. One is data analytics. And when I talk about data analytics, and if you want to switch it to my screen, Dr. Billy, so while we talk about this, so data analytics is one thing where we see a lot of agencies are now transitioning from several other tools they have used, and they're moving to this. Why? Because one of the core thing is InsuredMine is all about insurance. It is not.
I may have to charge you though, Roshan. Two presenters in the same webinar, man, I usually make some extra money on that. I'm just teasing, guys. I didn't charge him for this webinar. This is not a paid advertisement. This is I believe in the system, so I reached out to them.
Yeah, thank you. So this analytics, and the power, because you have one comment which has really stuck home to me when you have mentioned that when you had to invest in agencies and it took you almost 2 weeks to understand the value and the things which is working within the agency, and when you started using InsuredMine, it was just a 5-minute thing. And that's
let me stress that again, Roshan. I'll add in a couple extra minutes. When I invest in agencies, I literally send in a forensic accounting team. We do all this other stuff because agents are hiding money. There's the pool boy bimbo account. There's the extra golf fund. There's the boat account that's all being run through the agency, right? And they really a lot of times don't have a real grip of what their retention is, what their numbers are, who they have real phone numbers for. They usually don't have any of that kind of stuff. So literally it would take me 2 to 3 weeks or a month a lot of times to assess an agency, whether or not I even wanted to even go further to talk about investing in that agency. The agencies that have InsuredMine, I'm literally in and out in 5 minutes because of this data. So that's the biggest endorsement I can give you. So go ahead.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And so when we talk about hey, when you're creating a disruptive technology, you have to look at 10x. But this is like 5 minutes to 2 weeks. That's phenomenal, significant change. And that's the mindset we are talking about. Is we are not just putting numbers or pretty screens here. We are thinking from what our agencies would look for. And when I'm talking analytics, I'm looking at 4 things: how my agency is doing as a whole, how my producers are doing, how my clients are doing, and how each of my deals are doing. If anybody can put their finger on these 4 pulses, that's all they would need. and how do we bring it all together, whether it's from the point of where my clients are, what renewals are coming up, whether it's what the distribution looks like, what the goal for each of these guys are in the next 12 months, what data is missing, demographics of my client, distribution by carriers, and you have just summarized what an agency within last 5, 10, 15 years, they have built their book into just 5 or 7 snapshots. And that's, I think, has become or hit the home run with most of these agencies. That's number one. Number two, I want to talk about is in terms of how they have leveraged opportunities. This is all about how there are 4 segments. We always talk about go get new business, go buy leads and this. No, when you also have to think, there is a reason we call InsuredMine, M-I-N-E. You got to mine your current book of business, whether it's from renewals, whether it's from the business you never able sold, or whether it's a cross-sell or win-back. Cross-sell, let's click on that. It is telling me next 30 days, I have 564 policies about to expire. What can I cross-sell those guys? Let's do home and no auto, just one sample. You can build that configuration all day long, but let's pick one and filter. It is now going to tell me 238 policies are there which has home but no auto. Man, go after it. You don't need a new client.
Now how do I go after it? See, this is one of those dazzle moments for you, Roush, and I'm setting you up for this. So I've got 238 people who have home but no auto. Now what do I do with this list? How can I go after it?
So you go to your engagement, pull that list together, home but no auto. Hold on, it's taking 1 minute. So it's I'll pick it from the list. You can save it from that side as well, but I'm just showing it from this end. Where is my home? I can B, C, D, E, F. Home owners, yeah. Home and no auto. Include home, exclude auto. Here is my list which real-time updates, and I'm ready to send them a campaign with as many stages I want. Bam, and it sends that campaign. Not only that, it is now looking at the analytics and telling me how many of them opened it, how many of them clicked on it. So I have all that detail to know which guy is ready to bite.
Gotcha. See, that's a dazzle moment, because that's something that I can't get agents to do, is do their cross-sell or get their email or get their whatever, because most of the time their systems won't actually pull it. And even if their systems do it, a lot of times they just don't schedule time to do it. So that's a dazzle moment. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And that took all of what, 30 seconds?
Yeah. And then the last one I would say is in our sales funnel is I am looking as an agent, but everything we have talked about as an agent, but I also want to talk to the principals of the agency today, because the leadership has to understand how the agents are working in his agency. So if we are as a manager looking at, I don't have to go tap the shoulder of a producer and say, hey, how are you doing today? What did you sell? I just need to log into this. I can know by agent, or I can know all my agents how well they are doing in any point of time. And by that, or I can just look into my charts to say, what are we selling? Why are we selling? And if we are not selling something, why are we losing that business? I'll pick a line from your workshop. You said when we are losing business early hours or early days, which is in the early stages, it is because of us. If we are losing business at the later stage, it is because of the price or the product. This is what this chart is helping me learn that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Again, if you're losing sales at the lead prospect, it's because of our activities. We're not following up, we're not doing whatever. If you're getting through the quotes and you're getting all the way to the buying stage, and then you're losing your sale, then it's either your person can't sell, or you're trying to sell a product that's just not a good product for you to sell to that particular person. It's price or whatever else. But yeah, these numbers will tell me where the weakness is in the entire process.
And it's telling me, what line of business we are writing with which agent, what amount we are writing it. issue policy. So it's wonderful analytics of the business, and that's what we want agencies to start looking at their business from data-driven decision-making process perspective.
And agents, I understand it may take you some time to mature into that mindset, especially if you've been an agent that's just kind of existed every day. You open your door and whatever happened, happened. So we're not expecting you to suddenly get InsuredMine and become a business genius. We're not expecting that. But it's much easier to learn to change your culture when you have the right information to change your culture. You know what I mean? So no, that's why this is there. Absolutely. Roshan, we got about, let's say I'm going to give about 5 more minutes. So let me give you a next question that we have that's out here. It says, will this download commission information? You know, agents want everything. If you give us the moon, we want to know why the moon was not already set up for us, and you know, how come I have to sweep the dust from the moon? So we want everything. That's just how we are. So will this download commission information?
So we are plugging in revenue, and so you will have revenue information, and commission is what we will be in, not immediately, but down the line you will be getting that.
Gotcha. So no, that's good. Oh, and for you guys that are wondering, can you get a link to this recording? You know, usually I don't give out links to recordings, but this is something I did specifically to make sure that you guys knew about the integration that was coming. So yes, everybody that registered will get a link to this recording, as well as Raushan will get a list of everyone that registered so that he can reach out to you guys and let you know, answer whatever questions you have as well. So Raushan, I have some polls before everybody starts popping off. I've got 2 or 3 polls that I want to get to real quick, and then we can go from there. And again, I know you're going to reach out to all these guys, so that's going to make life a lot easier for all of them.
Yeah.
All right, so the first poll that I have is, are you a current AMS360 user? Are you a current AMS360 user? Okay. So go ahead and vote, and I'll show the results. Guys, give me 5 more minutes before you jump off. Give me 5 more minutes so we can get through these polls. Raushan, I'm going to let this poll run for about 45 seconds, and then I'm going to share the results. But so you have about 20 seconds to keep talking, Raushan. They just can't see your screen.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. No, again, couple other things if we have to look at, so it's when we are talking to agencies, it's equally important is we have a very good understanding. As you said, optimized InsuredMine utilization may not happen in a very short run. It's not a 30-day game plan and it will all change. It will take you to mature with the product within, like, let's say 90 days to 120 days. But we have a very specific game plan for every agency. And more than that, I want you all to know that InsuredMine, as good or as dazzling this product is, when you talk to our current clients, they will talk about not just the product, they will talk about the service that InsuredMine as a team provides. That is out of the park.
Okay, let me show you this real quick, Raushan. Let me show you this real quick. Again, I hate to step over you, but I'm trying to get these guys back to work as well. 55% of the folks that are on say they do not use AMS360.
Wow.
Okay, 55% say they don't. So the next poll question is, how many of you are currently InsuredMine users? So let's go ahead and, so at the end of this poll, I'll be able to tell you of the folks that respond to this, how many of them actually are using InsuredMine right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about service. Go ahead, Raushan. You were saying that they'll tell you about their service team as well.
Yeah. So whether it's from the onboarding perspective or from, where we take a lot of pride because our technology team is, hey, at the pace we are doing everything every day. But why we have reached and how we have reached this far is not because one fine morning I wake up and I have a vision, this is what we need to build. That is totally not the case. It is because we listen to each of you very patiently. And what you say, we take into account, go back to the drawing board and try to build it or fix it. And that has got us where we are today. So when you bring in an agent system like InsuredMine, that's what it helps you do. And if it is creating a gap or you see a gap, the first thing you do is call us.
Excellent, excellent. So if you see right here, Raushan, 85% of the people that are responding to the poll are not InsuredMine users.
Wow. Well,
So
I'm not surprised.
half the people didn't use AMS360, and 85, 90% of the people doesn't use InsuredMine. That's why this webinar was so important, because people need to know what is available. You know, I got a lot of nationwide agents that are babies in this independent insurance world, and they don't know what the hell they're doing, a lot of them. And so they need to understand what's available to them, and they don't just fall into the first salesperson that gets through to them. So no, we definitely want to make sure we understand that. So 85% of those folks are not there. I'm sure they'll be anxiously awaiting your call. Okay. Last poll I have for you is, let's see how many of you are current Inspire Nation members. So are you a current Inspire Nation member? For those of you guys that don't know what I do, we have a mentoring arm. We have an investment arm where we invest in insurance agencies, and then those agencies that either we don't invest in, or they're not interested in having an investor, but they want our strength. They want how we went from a scratch agency to a $1.2 billion enterprise. They want to know how we do that. They want to know our best practices. We have a mentoring arm as well. So I'm curious how many of those folks say they are current, not Inspire Nation members. So Raushan, with that being said, I'm not going to close this out yet, but I do want you to hit maybe 2 or 3 really key integration points between AMS360 and InsuredMine that you're most proud of as the visionary behind all of this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Billy. So again, I think one of the key things to start with, so I say this very often to my team, we will not change the world with great ideas. We will change the world with little actions. And so build upon that, take a small step, do it well, and build upon it. Take another small step. And that's how we're going to get better. And having said that, that's very important to us, that incremental change has paid off even in this case. So even though we have that big idea of what we want to accomplish, that vision, how it has started off is, can I get a contact in this side which will show up in 360 and the vice versa? That was starting point. Now we got the contact, everything associated with that contact, which is the activities. Can we get those? We got that. Now, once the policy is sold, can we get everything out that the system 360 got? Can we sub that in on this end? Yes, we got that done. Now the idea is, can we go into the coverage? If we understand the coverage, because that will open up a whole different world for understanding that customer and his journey. So we will be trying to explore that space a little bit. And again, the idea is, you will continue to use your management system as a wonderful policy administration and an experience tool, but InsuredMine will become a system or a hub of choice for your customer experience, your engagement and analytics, which will power boost your current management system. We never see moving into the management system space, but we will always see ourselves empowering them to be bigger and better.
Excellent. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, I will send out a copy of this to everyone as well. Raushan, thank you so much for being here. If you guys have additional questions, don't worry, Raushan and his team will reach out to you. So again,
thank you, Dr. Billy. I want to take a moment. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I know we have been talking for the last couple of years, but I don't think you do this favor to everyone. I don't know what did I do to earn it, but I will take it. Of what you have done is setting up this session for us. So a lot of thanks for that. And I also want to thank Darren, who is one of our customer and also Inspire Nation client of yours.
Vermost.
Yes, Vermost Insurance, for allowing us to use his system as what we were showing earlier. So thank you, Darren, for everything you do and being such a strong proponent for InsuredMine. So thank you.
Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on this webinar. Hopefully you'll attend many other webinars that we have. If you're a current member, don't forget, starting Monday and Tuesday, we have our 2-day 10 million insurance revenue workshop. It's not going to be like the other workshops. This is going to be nothing but what it takes to grow your agency to $10 million in revenue, not premium, revenue. So members, make sure that you are signed up for that. Pick the hours based on the agenda that you want to be there and go from there. And also, Raushan, you're going to be on that as well. You are one of your representatives. You're going to be on there as well for our technology phase of that. So again, thank you guys. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next one.